This is Bias Aside, and all of our teams are down 0-1 to start the semifinals.
What a place to be, huh?
I'm listening, Adam Silver. I'm listening. You have my attention now. Cleveland down 0-1. Celtics down 0-1. Let's get the ratings up.
Well, all right, I'll start it. Welcome to another episode of Bias Aside. The 0-1 boys are back in town.
Down 0-1?
How biased do we sound right now?
So I just want to say welcome to another episode of Bias Aside. My name is JD. With me is Jeffrey Jacobo, Austin Thompson, and of course he's here in spirit.
What's
but
your
Naj,
last name?
That's not necessary. Justin Cleveland. No, JD Jones. And we're missing Naj tonight. We missed him a lot. Naj, we always love you. We can't wait till your return. And so, guys, there's no music tonight. Obviously, this is a live reaction to some of the games that have been happening the last 2 days. I expect that we will have some live recordings into the episode. So just to break down how today's episode will go, this is a quick one. It is late at night. It is 10:15 on the East Coast. We're going to start.
And I am grumpy.
Yeah, okay.
This is when those checks that you're writing out,
we're covering.
This is when they're hard to cash.
We're covering 2 things tonight. We're starting with the Celtics Knicks series. We'll then go into the Cleveland series, and then we'll be out.
Austin tonight. Didn't have to record after the Celtics losing to the Warriors in 2022 I had to show up for that on my own.
Yes, I showed up last year when Boston beat Cleveland. The same night.
Whatever.
Y'all told
none of that, man.
You're the one who told us that we have a check we gotta cash. You're the one that promised the audience we're coming back every night. That was your words. How are you gonna have those words and then be like, you know what? It's game one. We lost. I'm going to bed. We ain't got time. It's game one. You're probably still favored.
A kiss on the lime on the bed.
So
listen.
So before we get to the 0-1 series, let's talk about Warriors Rockets. I think we all predicted the Warriors winning, right? Or was it?
I said Rockets at first, but after the first 5 minutes of game one, I said that I predicted the Warriors. I switched back, and literally, I'm not saying it was my prediction anymore. I said Houston, and 5 minutes in, if you go back into the group chat, I said, everyone, I was wrong. The Warriors will win. But I still would say I lost that series.
If I said Rockets and now I'm saying Warriors, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to switch up. I just can't remember.
I don't think you had a prediction. Now that I even think about it, I don't think I win. Yeah.
But someone complained about picking experience. I can't remember if it was you or JD.
It was Justin.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe we did pick the Warriors and JD was trying to be different.
I got really close.
No, you did. No, it wasn't a bad pick. I mean, they were the number 2 seed. You can't go wrong with picking the 2 seed.
It wasn't a bad pick.
With that being, yes, okay, I'll give that to you because we all know game 5, the Warriors didn't even try, but then I was not predicting them to lose game 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it pushed to 7. So I guess this can be one of those where we shake hands and we act like we all know basketball.
So do we like the Warriors against Minnesota?
I think that's the hardest series to predict. Well, I don't know. The Cavs Pacers is really hard too right now. But the Warriors series is rough. I feel like I'm gonna hold my. Well, we won't be back, so I was hoping we would record before game 1. That won't happen. Do you guys have a prediction for that series?
I say, Nig's gonna call me a hater, but I got Timberwolves in 7.
I don't think Nige can really call you a hater with this one. So I've been talking about my prediction as far as the Warriors go the last 3 episodes now, and I'm not feeling confident about that prediction by any means right now. And it's for the same reasons that I had as far as the Lakers. I did have the Lakers winning, but I was saying that they were too small. The Warriors are far too small. Even though this series has Draymond Green written all over it,
Draymond versus Rudy.
We remember the Draymond headlock, Rudy Gobert moments, and we could talk about experience, but the Wolves are going into this tough. The Wolves did not have to play 7 games like the Warriors did. They're younger.
What's the over-under on headlocks?
The over-under on headlocks? It's 2.5.
2.5? Okay. I'm taking the over.
I'm slamming the over.
The over on 2.5 headlocks?
Yeah. By game 6, Draymond's going to be losing it. Don't let Rudy have a 27-24 game like he did versus the Lakers. Draymond going to fight the whole team. You know what? Honestly, I'm so sick of and again, I said this last series too. I'm so sick of us saying that it's experience versus youth for teams that have had some type of playoff run. Because it doesn't mean they haven't had. The Timberwolves have experience in the playoffs. They just don't have as much as the Warriors. But you see, to me, there's a thin line there. We got to stop acting like just because you only got 2 or 3. No, you've done it before. You've seen the series before. They took out the Nuggets last year. So there is experience there. I just don't like when we act like they have no experience. Some of these teams, they do that to the Timberwolves. They do that to Cleveland. They do that to the Pacers. All those teams have been in real series. The only one I can really understand is OKC because they've only won 1 series together. So I'm going to go in this one. I think I'm going to ride with Jeff. Timberwolves in 7. And really, I want to say 6, but they're so good with Jimmy that it's going to go to 7.
Are the Warriors like the new underdogs? Is that what's going to happen? Like,
no, it's just
going to run being the underdogs.
No, so that's actually exactly what's going on right now. So this is the first time during this Golden State era that they are the underdogs in a series ever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like statistically, that's Vegas telling you that they expect the Wolves to win. This is the first time ever.
And yet everyone still loves them. So, they're the crowd.
What's not to love?
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah. I'm just playing.
Your precious Kevin Durant is off of the Golden State Warriors, so we can go back to...
Hey, listen, okay.
That's
so anyway,
Ohio.
Everyone, what prediction? I have 7. Jeff has 7. Austin, what do you have? Warriors or Timberwolves?
Can I do the unthinkable and say I have to wait until after game 1? Or you're not gonna give me that grace?
No, that's not.
No grace, Jeff. No grace. No grace, JD. No grace.
No, I don't even say it before I eat.
So, you know what? You've been out of pocket ever since the Celtics got into overtime. You know that?
I'm not that out of pocket. Can we hurry up so we can move to that conversation?
Oh, now it's hurry up. Okay, now it's hurry up. Now it's okay.
Talk about this.
I have to get up at 4 a.m. as well, Justin. And I'll be flying to Boston after a nasty loss. By the way. I'm going Warriors in 6.
Okay.
Oh,
I like that. That was for you, Nas.
Yeah, I said that's what I said. I said Warriors in 6.
That was for you, Naj. He did that for you.
I like
he
it.
did that for you. Okay, let's move on to this Celtics series. Listen,
wait. Whoa. There were 2 games.
Of course. Let's go right to the Celtics series. Let's just go right to the Celtics.
Wait. Listen, if I have no problem. I have no problem wherever you want to go with this conversation. 1 is a live game. If you want to go there first, we go there first. If you would like to go Cleveland first, I'll go Cleveland first.
I like going in chronological order.
Okay, fine.
2 games.
As most people do.
I will go first. And I'm going to, because you're just messing up everything. Okay, whatever. I'm
messing up everything?
Austin's on 1 tonight. My team is down 0-1-2. Why would I come out here trying to take heads off, Austin? My team is down 0-1, and they talking about Evan Mobley and Hunter are questionable for game 2.
That was
I don't
crazy.
even know. Thank you.
I'm just wondering, why do we start with the first game that happened yesterday with the Warriors in Houston, and then we won't also talk about the game that happened yesterday before we talk about the Celtics?
Because 1 just happened. 1 has you on cloud.
So why do we talk about the Golden State Warriors in Houston before?
1 has you hyped right now.
You know what?
And it ain't the Cleveland game. It's not the Cleveland game. Listen, let's go to Cleveland. I'll go first.
There are very few people in this life that can get under my skin the way that JD does. And he knows that. and he is fully aware.
And probably Boz too. Because you're misreading me
Don't
get
me started on AB.
Right now. My team is
right.
down 0-1-2.
You know what? Let's go wherever you want to go. Let's go wherever you want to go. Let's go wherever you want to go.
We're going to Cleveland.
We're going to Cleveland.
Thoughts?
Personally, I saw a lot of people predict that the Pacers would win game 1. I saw Jeff Teague do it. A bunch of people saying that Cleveland's been sitting. They played Miami. They're going to come out. They don't have Garland. The Pacers just came off a better series. They're going to come in with energy. Cool. I said last week, I fully expect this series to be 2-2 after 4 games. That was my prediction. And I said Cleveland is 6, but I could see it going to 7. I said that this series would be it would be a much better series than people expected. By name, it's probably the series that everyone wants to hate on. Everyone wants to hate on and be, oh, Pacers, Cleveland, who cares? But if you just watch the game, it's amazing. Game 1 was really, really good. Pacers came out dominating. It felt like they didn't miss forever. Cleveland went on a crazy run towards the end of the third quarter, which was absolutely amazing TV. And then I had to hear people like Rob, who's in our G League chat, and Jared try to tell me that Cleveland is a boring team, which I disagree with. If you just watch the third quarter and watch the run they went on, but that's a whole nother, well, I'm getting into that too. I'm very much sick of the whole narrative of that people just don't want Cleveland to be, Cleveland's Cleveland, so there's like a constant hate. And I think it's a little stupid sometimes. Like I told Rob that I felt like a lot of uneducated people are predicting stuff on this series because they just don't watch the Cleveland games. If you don't watch the games, you should not be participating in what you think is who will win and who will not. I don't want to hear anyone can make a guess. It's 2 teams. I can make any guess. Right now, OKC, Denver. If I can just say Denver has the experience, I can say that and I have a 50% chance to be right. But if you're really not watching the games, I don't want to hear about you from Cleveland teams. So watch the games first. I've done with this all year long where people have not watched the games and they first try to tell us that we're not that real. And then we won 17 straight and they talk some mess. And then this happened, that happened. We beat the Celtics every step of the way. People don't want to believe into your team until you actually do it. But maybe that's just all teams. Cleveland, in this sense, they are in a little trouble because when I saw the Hunter hurt his shoulder. I did see that live. I do not know what happened at Mobley. So if they don't show up tomorrow for game 2, to me, this is one of the biggest waste of a seasons of ever. I don't know if they need ibuprofen. I don't know if they need Tylenol. I don't know what they need. Do you need? Well, I can't say that because but I don't know what they need. But whatever they need to find it. All right. They might need prayer for all we know. Something needs to happen. If you don't show up tomorrow night, I don't want to hear about Defensive Player of the Year. Don't give me any of that nonsense. I want to hear about Coach of the Year. Everyone better show up tomorrow.
Year, by the way.
I don't care. We'll celebrate at the end of the year, but you know what? Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. But we don't care. You have to show up tomorrow. You have to play. If somebody has to play tomorrow. This is not how this is how we went out to the Celtics last year.
Ty Jerome legacy injured. Game coming up.
And could they win without? Maybe, but we don't. Why am I chancing this? Why am I chancing? Do you think the Pacers are not going to play good in game 2? So that's my thought process.
Yeah, I think the Pacers are, and we talked about it in our group chat, they're just an annoying team to play. They just don't stop. Like, it's really hard to, hit them with that knockout punch. It's like they're unfazed by everything, and it's really hard to get them out of their stuff. Like, they're always going to run their stuff. Tyrese Halliburton is back to looking like the old Halliburton, and he's their engine, and their role players are just like, I don't know. I always say, I look at that team and I just don't understand why they're as good as they are, even though they have good players. Don't get me wrong, but it's like you look at it and you're just like, how? And playoff Nemhard is a thing. It's officially a thing because going off of how we played in the conference finals against Boston, I was like, oh, he's gonna have a breakout season. He's going to show me something. Like, this is his, he's going to be, maybe the Pacers have a big 3. I don't know. And I didn't see it. And now all of a sudden it's like, here he is again, so I don't know. I do think having no Garland, you need a point guard, right? To set up your offense. And if you don't have that, the offense is going to struggle.
And also talking about Cleveland looks better without Garland.
But I will say,
that's what I said.
I will say the defense shouldn't have struggled the way it did, though.
I agree, but
If anything, your defense should have been a little bit better with no Garland.
Something alert came to my home from Brian Windhorst talking about Cleveland sees Indiana as a bad matchup. I was like, first of all, that's not what I want to hear after a game 1 loss. Don't be sending me. This is why Bleacher Report is so annoying. Why would you target me? Why send that to Pacers fans? Don't send that over here.
It's the algorithm, man.
Nah, I'm sick of that. Can't even spell that word.
Thoughts, Austin?
There were a couple of things that I was spot on with this series so far, and there were a couple of things that I was very wrong about. I still stand on Cleveland looking better than without Darius Garland. But in this specific matchup, Darius Garland has performed against the Pacers. I will say that. So overall, I'm talking about Cleveland. But in this specific matchup, Darius Garland has usually come to play against the Pacers, so I'll give that to JD. Another way I was wrong, Evan Mobley actually showed up. As far as having 20 and 10, but he was 9 for 13. Very efficient, but you should be scoring more, Evan Mobley. You shouldn't only have 13 attempts, Evan Mobley. D. Mitch, he's a killer. I'm a big D. Mitch fan. 33 on 30 attempts is nasty. Ty Jerome, 21 on 20 attempts is nasty. And Cleveland, if you're playing that type of ball, if D. Mitch is playing that type of ball where it's like you're getting big numbers, which I can understand if the offense is stagnant, you got to try to do something. But that's where we see D. Mitch lose, where he gets his numbers and no one else is really getting involved in the game. So I love that all day because I don't want to play Cleveland. I'd rather play the Pacers. So D. Mitch, go ahead, keep scoring. Keep playing ISO ball. Keep doing what you do, brother. But as far as the Pacers go, where I was right, JD tried to start the conversation last week with, oh yeah, I know that we're 1-3, blah, 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 blah. If you watch the games, no.
That's not true. That's not true.
That's actually very true. And we'll let them and we'll let you actually go back to wherever you want to go.
You can't make any assessment off those games. What if I told you that if Denver...
Why not? You guys lost game 1.
Hold on. What if I told you that the Clippers won 3 out of 1 games versus Denver? And you go, oh my goodness, that's amazing. But then we go back and looked at 2 of the games. All the starters were gone. Nobody was there. So it was just 1-1. So we wouldn't be able to tell it that the statement was not that Cleveland's just better because those matchups tell us nothing. They tell us absolutely nothing. Look at the last 2 games. Nobody played. I sent that to your phone. We cannot get data off those 2 games.
I got all I needed to know after those 2 off of those games. And same reason where I actually watched the games and we went 4-0 against the Knicks, and who was the only one saying that we're about to lose game 1?
That's not what we're talking about, brother.
I'm just talking about I actually watched the games. Just like
I know.
So I know what I saw. I know what I saw, and I said this is going to be a series.
No one said you did not watch the games. I'm saying that we cannot. Hold on, I'm about to pull up the games. Again. I said that we cannot take any information from those games. The last game versus them, obviously, was the last game of the season. Nobody played. And then the second to last game was the third to last game of the season they played. In that game, there was no Donovan Mitchell. There was no Garland. There was no Mobley. Jared Allen played 16 minutes. Dean Wade played 30. Jalen Tyson played, or Coral played 31. All I'm saying is, so 2 of the games, we had 3 to 4 starters out. Nobody played. So we can't take any data from there. Now, if you're saying, hey, I watched those 2 first games of the season that were 4 months ago and that told me everything I need to know, I'll get out your way. But the last 2 games, there's nothing to learn from those games.
I mean, you're saying that people didn't play, but at the same time, there's people who didn't play against the Celtics and Cavs, 2 out of the 4, the ones that you guys won. But we still consider it a good series, right?
And what have I said before? When we played you guys in the middle of the season, I said I hate this when Jaylen Brown was out that game. Not because I hate it because if we beat you, we get no credit, because it tells nothing to me. Because if we beat you, what am I supposed to be confident about? That we beat you without Jaylen Brown? As a Cavaliers fan, I can't take a lot from that. Now I have no confidence. Now, what would have happened if we beat you by 10 points? No Jaylen Brown? I don't think Jaylen Brown would get you 12. I get no confidence from a lot of regular season matchups. A lot of times we don't learn anything because everyone's always out nowadays. There's always an injured player. So that's why sometimes some of these series are bigger. Like, we don't really know what to expect because now, for the first time all year, everyone's going to show up and play. That's what I'm saying overall. We don't know about a lot of these matchups. We want 2 versus Celtics this season. Do I feel confident because of those matchups? No, everyone was gone half the time. Porzingis was gone. This person was gone. We don't know.
Right, but your closing statement was, but since it's 2-2, like, the narrative can continue. That's like verbatim.
What do you mean?
You said the narrative can continue that Cleveland can compete with Boston because it's 2-2.
Yeah,
regardless of what.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
So
From
going
the
into
media side.
right.
From the
Okay,
media side.
right. Yeah. So what I'm telling you is, since the Pacers are 1-3, the narratives can continue. And now that they're 0-1, you best believe the narratives are going to continue.
No, not really.
Okay.
Because I watched Brian Windhorst on Live TV go. We really don't know. Obviously, the last 2 games nobody played, and then after 0-1, now we can see the pace. That's just obvious. Like, anybody knows this.
I'm not worried about Brian Windhorst. I'm talking about me and you talking ball. I'm talking bias aside basketball, baby. I'm not talking about
perspective. Did we not just say from a media perspective? So from a media perspective, when Cleveland won the second game, it allowed the media to continue the narrative that Cleveland could be a contender with Boston. Right. That's obvious. When they talked about the Pacers in Cleveland on every sports network, they mentioned that no one played the final 2 games. And so that we really don't know much about this matchup. But Cleveland was the best team. But obviously, Indiana had picked it up after the second half of the season, went deep in the playoffs. That's the narrative I saw everywhere.
Okay, that's not the narrative.
But Cleveland was heavily favored in this series through a lot of heavy.
As they should.
But after game 1, the narrative's going to change. Also, can I just say this? Oh, my goodness. I hate how much people jump after game 1s. Oh, my goodness. Every Knicks fan in the world, but that's just... So, is there anything else? Go ahead, Jeff.
So I have a question. If the Cavs were to lose this series, what do you think it would do to Donovan Mitchell's, not legacy, because it's not like he has a legacy necessarily, but like his narrative, because he hasn't been on a bad team in a while. I think it got kind of ugly at the end of the Utah run, but like he's usually been on good teams, and a big part of the reason why his teams are good are because of him. But do you think that changes the narrative on him, or like do you think his playoff narrative is hurt if they lose by this? Like, you have the
can I say this? I just talked for 5 minutes. I want to know your opinion on
it. Yeah, I think and I felt like this for a while. But he's just so good that he can convince me that I'm wrong. But I think I don't think he's a true number 1 on a team, which is crazy because of how good he is. Like, he's really good. I was watching him in that game 1, and he just gets downhill so easily. His finishing ability is so crazy. Like, his explosion is just, it's like every time he like goes to the basket, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time. That's how I react every single time. It's like, whoa, that was crazy. But I just don't know. And again, he could prove me wrong this series. Like you said, it's only 1 game. But I think if they were to lose this series, I think you have to think about, like, do we have to trade for somebody to be the guy and he just be the second guy? Because at the end of the day, he is a 6'2" guard at the end of the day.
I think Cleveland has already admitted that while they love him, and he is the second best Cavalier in 25 years, they've already admitted that they feel that way. Because the narrative out of Cleveland has been for a while that in order for Cleveland to become a championship team, we must see the progress of Evan Mobley. And Evan Mobley must become the best player in the team. So while that is also a prop that, hey, we drafted him, we know his skill set, we have to bring him. I think in some ways, Cleveland itself knows, I'm talking about from the coaches and front office standpoint, that it would be Evan Mobley either being 1A, 1B with him or actually being the one. And in some ways, honestly, if you kind of watch his progression over the years, you can kind of see that there is a path to him getting there. Evan Mobley being like the best player on the team, especially after watching this year offensively. For Donovan Mitchell, I think it does him a disservice. It's going to be a very bad look because he's been in two very small markets. And the problem with being with small market teams is you're going to have a good percentage of the market that doesn't know you, that doesn't really care. They don't. And while Jaylen Brown, if he did half the stuff he did in a Knicks jersey, he'd be considered, one of the best players in the league because it's sometimes about the jersey you wear. But being in Utah and being in Cleveland, going to a 1 seed, if he never gets to the third round 8 years in a row, it will be such a bad look for him. They will drop him. I'm telling you, people are going to slam him for a long time. And that is if people are or are not injured on the team. This year, they won't care. Last year, you could see the narrative. People stopped talking about how Mobley and them were hurt. It became like a backdrop. Like, oh, not Mobley, but Jared Allen. Like, after a while, you didn't even hear it no more. Like, it's all of a sudden, we forgot that Garland and all the... So, and that's not to say that we're taking away from the Celtics win. It's to say that the narrative is becoming more about Donovan. So, if he loses this, no matter who's hurt, man, it's going to be a long summer for him. Very long summer.
I feel that. Look at
Feel
that.
bad
We
for
got 30 minutes on the Cavs, JD. Look at that. We're changing the media narrative.
I don't appreciate those words.
No, I'm just saying. Well,
That was a little sarcastic.
What podcast is dedicating the first 30 minutes to the Cavs?
Cleveland Sports does.
Well,
First Things Cleveland.
Their whole show
the
is
Ohio. The Ohio. No,
their whole show is the Cavs.
Go ahead, Austin.
I'm a huge D Mitch fan. I think D Mitch, to your point, if he was in another jersey, he would be considered top 10 in the league. Undeniable.
I still think he is.
I think they try to push him out so much. And it's not even the media, it's just people. Sorry,
They do. I mean, D Mitch is one of those guys who has led a team to the first seed in the East and Western conferences.
Crazy.
There's not a lot of people who have done that. He shows off every playoffs. He has the right mentality. He ain't scared of nothing. He gets his buckets. He improves the players around him. He's a hooper. Now, to the point of him needing someone else to be the number one, maybe. But I think it would be a very much a 1A, 1B situation instead of him being like a clear 2. Because I think he's that good. And he influences every game that he plays that much. I don't think Evan Mobley will ever be better than Donovan Mitchell. He has the height. I get that D. Mitch is a shorter guard. Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
So, playing both sides of the floor, he has the length. Like I said, he played big. Game 1, I was very impressed with what I saw with him. I think he is one of those players that did step up. I think he should have shot more, but he did play a very good Game 1. But I think that D. Mitch is just too much of a dog, and I don't see that in Evan Mobley. I think that Evan Mobley is a talent. I don't think he's a dog. And I think that...
Agreed.
I think that D. Mitch has both. So I just don't think that... I don't even think that Evan Mobley wants to be that guy in those big moments, and D. Mitch wants that every single time. So that's just what I think about D. Mitch. I don't see him getting too much heat, though, surprisingly. Maybe that's just me. You're more tapped into the Cleveland sports, so maybe... I don't know. But I feel like the first thing is to point to other people outside of Donovan Mitchell when they lose. I don't think it's ever on Donovan Mitchell because he really leaves it on the floor. There's never been a game where I'm like, I needed to see more effort out of Donovan Mitchell. He's one of those stars where I'm like, he leaves it on the floor every single time.
That's very valid.
I agree
I
with that.
also think maybe I'm using the wrong words that they'll be on him, but what they do is they keep pushing him back. So like, there's time periods, like, oh, he's 8 to 10, top 11 to 15, 15 to 20. Like with every time he misses, they want to push him back and push another person in the big market up. So let Devin Booker have a really good year next year. He gonna get more. He gonna get more.
Phoenix a big market,
bigger than Cleveland, especially if he's still sitting next to Kevin Durant. If you still sit next to Kevin Durant and Phoenix starts doing good, I watched Phoenix good for 2-3 years. I'm not calling them a big market. I'm calling them a bigger market than Cleveland. So, but surprisingly, I would say this about Cleveland to the Coach of the Year thing. This is how the media views Cleveland. I just want you to think about this. If you come to Cleveland and win, you do get a lot of props. The Browns coach, who people went back and forth, has been there 4 years. He had 5 years. He has 2 Coach of the Year awards. The Cavaliers have a coach first year there, Coach of the Year award. And I think Tyronn Lue won 1 too. I can't remember. But Cleveland, while it's a smaller market and they don't want to like it, the media side is that the ratings are actually really good because there are so many Ohio fans. So when they're actually doing good, it really boosts their ratings, and all of a sudden other coaches start winning Coach of the Year. So if you go to Cleveland and win, you benefit a lot from it. But look, 33 minutes on Cavaliers.
Look at that, man.
I know. Look, well, before we move on to the Celtics, you guys want to pay some bills?
Let's do it.
All right, guys, we'll be right back after a quick ad.
Let's pay him.
Pay the bills. Hey guys, thanks for listening to Bias Aside. We're a big time show that gets big time sponsors. Now let's pay some bills. Ladies, are you tired of your man not always getting you the right gifts? We know you love jewelry. We know you love perfume. But what about those purses? Well, we have a new handbag for you ladies. Introducing the Jalen Brunson Clutch Purse. This purse is Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter. It's clutch when it counts. It holds your essentials like Jalen holds a lead. Stylish under pressure, just like a fadeaway jumper. Yes, it's small, but makes a big statement. It's not just a bag. It's your game-winning shot. Now back to the show.
Boston Celtics lose to the New York Knicks 108-105 in a overtime first game series after being up 20 points. What do we think about it, Jeff?
It's funny. I saw. I started watching a little bit of the beginning of the Thunder Nuggets game, and Grant Hill mentioned how like after a long layoff, teams can be a little flat, right? And he pointed out Cleveland coming out and losing to Indiana, and then Boston. I think New York looks like a team who lost to the Celtics every single time they played them this year, and they wanted it. Like they really wanted it because losing again just would not have it wouldn't have set the tone, right? So you could see it. They were on the offensive boards heavy. They were shooting the ball great. They were just hustling. They were just a lot of hustle, a lot of hustle. And they just looked like they wanted it more. The Celtics were just flat. Tatum and Brown were awful, absolutely awful. Jaylen Brown was 1 for 9 from 3. He made the big one. I'll give him that. He made the big one towards the end. But he was horrible. Jason Tatum was not taking advantage of mismatches. There was multiple times down the stretch where he had Jalen Brunson in front of him or Mitchell Robinson, and he settled for a 3, and that just drove me crazy. and it's unfortunate because I feel like Drew ended up having a good game. Um, I feel like Derek had a pretty good game too. So you kind of lost, like you kind of missed out on that because Drew can be kind of hit or miss. And when you have a good Drew game, you want to win. Um, but other than that, yeah, I think it was just um, New York just looked like they wanted it more, really. And and I hate to be this guy because people are gonna be like, oh, but the Celtics played horrible and they lost by 3 in overtime, 6-3, something like that. Like the Knicks really had to claw for this win. Porzingis only played 1 quarter, right? So a lot of things had to go. A lot of out of the ordinary things had to happen for the Knicks to like barely win this game. I know I sound like a hater. I sound like a hater, but I feel like it's the truth. So I'm not. Am I happy about this loss? Absolutely not. Am I? Um, am I like really upset about it? Not necessarily either, because it was like a game. What was the game we lost to Orlando? Game 3. Uh,
Yeah, it was
Boston
game
played.
three. It was game
Yeah,
three in Celtics fashion.
yeah. Boston played really bad and they barely lost. Right. So, I'm not super worried. I did say Celtics in 5 or 6. And you got to lose once or twice for that to happen. So I'm not too upset. I'm not too upset.
I hear you. As I had mentioned before, I was one of the few people who said we were going to lose game one. It was just something that I felt, knowing the Celtics long enough, knowing that we can be very unserious at times, and this was a classic case of us being unserious after blowing a 20-point lead. Um, Jason Tatum, 13 points in the first quarter. We're looking at it like, wow, here he comes. He's leading us. This is what we've been waiting on. Doesn't score again until what? Late in the third? Goes ghost. Kristaps Porzingis, injury prone as he is, this time not even talking about an injury. They're saying he's sick again, whatever that means. To your point, Drew Holiday had a good game. We cannot waste those, which we did. I mean, this was your classic situation of the Celtics playing down to their competition respectfully. The New York Knicks are a very tough team. I've said I've been nervous about them before the season even started. Boston came in here. It was clear they said we beat them 4-0 by a margin of 16 points. We were smacking them. And then we just took our foot off the gas as we usually do. We gave up the lead. And then it came down to crunch time. No one stepped up. We lose the game. I do think we win that game 2. We lose the first game in New York, game 3. And then we win out in 6. That has been my prediction from the start. I think that we will continue to do that. But how many threes did we miss? What was it? I think that you sent something that said that we missed a can you correct me
Yeah,
on
it
the
was a NBA record for playoff history. 45 missed 3-pointers, the most in NBA playoff history.
It's called Missoula ball.
Hey, what do they say? You live
It's
and die by the 3, right?
it's called Joe Ball, and I love this team. I love Joe, but I've been very critical on him for these moments exactly. Joe Missoula is a great coach when it comes to forming a plan, but what makes a good coach or the gap between a good coach and a great coach is your in-game adjustments. And I still think he needs to learn how to adjust mid-game. And it's clear he did not do that here with us continuing to just shoot 3 after 3 after 3. We can switch it up. And I thought that the Orlando Magic's series taught us that we can win in other ways, but we didn't do that tonight. I'm not necessarily nervous. You would think that me calling this, me predicting this would make me less mad. I'm furious. And of course, that's when JD is first and foremost on the podcast, ready to go.
Yeah, JD earlier, he was like, man, I don't know. I'm 50-50.
I don't know.
I
I
can't
don't
do
think.
it.
Maybe I can. And then
The
like
game
as
went to
soon as
overtime.
like
He was like, I'm
30
ready.
seconds left, he's like, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? I get it.
I hope y'all know y'all are such liars. I text Austin earlier. I'm 50-50. I may not be in town. I told him this. Then I text y'all before the game. I'm going to try to meet y'all at 9:30. My team is down 0-1. Austin was shaking in his boots like I was going to come in here and say something crazy. What am I supposed to say? My team is down 0-1 too, brother. I have no... I have shaking. Man was talking about I'm going to bed. Going to bed? Going to bed? Why?
I didn't say
that
that
I was
once.
like, we can't. I was like, we can't.
I just said I'm not doing the pod. I just said I'm not doing the pod. I'll keep it tall. I didn't say I was going to bed. I'm just saying I'm not doing the pod.
Not doing the pod and not going to bed is crazy.
Austin was under the covers. Austin had the lights out.
Pajamas on.
Set his early alarms.
You are ridiculous. You are ridiculous.
Listen, I'm exaggerating, but I got two people that would like to speak to you guys. So we have two big Knicks fans that follow the show. We have a lot of Knicks fans that follow the show. We have two Jareds though in our lives.
I knew Jared. You reached out to Jared, to the other Jared. I already know you did.
And with Jared? Me just now saying how nasty you get. Now you come out the woodworks with not with one, but two voice notes?
It's game one.
You better be thankful. You better be thankful I don't know any Pacers fans.
Nobody knows any Pacers fans. Nobody. You listen, it's funny because
you are grade A ridiculous.
D1 hater.
What am I supposed to do? All right. So this is from Jared Jarvis from New York, and I would mention many of you. We're gonna find his page and shout. What's his page before we even? He is one of the best photographers. What's his page, Jeff? I'm gonna find it.
Which page?
New York. Jared Jarvis's picture page. Stadium Seats. Everyone go to Stadium Seats. Give them a follow. Absolutely, he's the best photographer out right now, getting a lot of the game footage. Some of the best LeBron photos on a live game I've ever seen. He's got some really crazy ones with Anthony Edwards, and so shout out to him. He's a big Knicks fan. This is his live game one review. Everybody's calm. Game one. Let's see what he says.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's Jarvis. All right, so I got a question. So we know the regular season, Boston dominated the Knicks. I think they won by like almost 20-something, a couple of times. But the last two games that the Knicks and Boston played each other, I think the Knicks lost by like maybe a little bit more than 10. And in the most recent game in the regular season, the Knicks probably should have won that game, but whatever. But they wound up losing by 2. Now here we are in the playoffs in game 1. Knicks were down by 20 on the road in Boston. Came back. Could have won in regulation had Brunson had a little bit more English on that shot, but still took care of business in overtime. I got a question for y'all. Do you think the Knicks might have figured out Boston, or do you feel like Boston just came into this game feeling themselves a little bit too much? What do you guys think? Where do you think this series is really going to end now that we've seen game 1?
Thank you, Jared. And let me just say this before they answer this question. See, this is the problem with Celtics. See how hyped they are? Everyone is calm. Everyone understands what game 1 is on the other side. The Knicks fans aren't even that hyped. But how do you guys feel about that question?
Have the Knicks figured out the Celtics? You know what? Just to entertain you, yes, they have. Yes, they did.
I'm not gonna give you that.
They figured out the Celtics. They made them miss the most 3-pointers in NBA playoff history. They shut Jason Tatum down. They shut down Jaylen Brown. They made Kristaps Porzingis sick. They gave Sam Hauser glass ankles for today.
Well, he usually has those.
So yes, they did figure out the Celtics, Jared. Yes. Great question. Next.
So the New York Knicks did not figure out the Boston Celtics. Come on. Listen, you guys played really tough. I expected you guys to play us tough. So hats off to New York. You giving us a series. Shout out to you guys. This is what we've been waiting on all season, right? Like, this wasn't supposed to be a cakewalk. And you guys came out hair on fire. You guys came out competitive. Shout out Josh Hart. He's probably my favorite New York Knick. OG, great game. And we didn't want it enough. You guys wanted it more than us game one, and you took it. In Celtics fashion, we usually are unserious, and then we kind of turn it up, and now we're going to turn it up. But it was a great win. I think that you guys did what you were supposed to do as far as stealing one on the road. Now it's our job to kind of do the same. And what a beautiful playoffs this has been so far. What a beautiful playoffs this has been so far. The players have been delivering. And look at, hey, I'm a Jersey guy. The first games I ever grew up going to was the New York Knicks. I mean, between TD, Madison Square Garden, there's no place like the Garden. Orange and blue skies, I'm here for it. Congratulations to game one. Let's see what happens game two.
Yeah, and obviously I was joking. I don't think the Knicks figured out the Celtics, but I do agree with.
I'm
Austin.
gonna clip that one part though. I'm gonna clip when you say they did.
They did play well though. I think they played well, and the Celtics played really bad. But that's just basketball, right? And also, it's really hard to beat a team 5 games in a row. Like, that's really hard to do. It's hard enough to beat them 4 times in a row. 5 is even harder. So, like I said, I think the Knicks were just tired of losing. They came out. They looked really hungry. They looked really focused, and they slapped the Celtics in the face. And now it's on the Celtics to respond. What are you gonna do? Like, you know, I mean, are you gonna show people who the champs are, or are you gonna lay down? It's up to you. It's up to you.
Good answer. If I'm the Knicks, though, I feel great because I don't know about figuring it out, but I know all I have to do is win one of the next 3. I mean, I'm sorry, one of the next 2 games.
Yeah.
So,
What they say is not a series.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's not a series till someone loses on the road. So
yeah, but if I can win one of the next 3 games and we're tied 2-2, we're tied 2-2. And then, best of 3. So last one from our guy, Jared, Goat Ring from Charlotte. This is one of our Knicks specialists, as I would put it. Let's see what he had to say about the game. Let me put this closer to the mic so y'all can hear this too.
What's up, fellas? Not gonna lie, still a little wired and jittery from that game. Still in a state of disbelief that the Knicks pulled it out after being down 20 in the third. I know this is probably pretty rough for Oz and Jeff, but what are you gonna do? I think moving forward in the series, just one little hot take is this is all going to come down to the Knicks supporting cast at this point. Boston's going to do that hard double team on Brunson now for the rest of the series. They're going to try and force it out of his hands. So the games that their role players and their secondary players are hitting, I don't think Boston can win. But the Knicks role players have shown time and again, especially in the Detroit series, that they very easily cannot hit. So we'll see what happens as the series goes forward. I don't want to say anything confidently because I know as soon as I do, they'll drop 4 in a row. So here's to a good series, and hopefully they pull it out. We'll see.
Another balanced fan. Thank you, Jared. We appreciate that. See, Austin was thinking I called you guys to come in here and brag and say a lot. No,
so you admit to calling them?
Knicks. Of course I am. Are you kidding me? I call everybody on this show for voice messages. You weren't here the year that when
We have
who was
Mariah
it? Mariah
for,
was on
for
it.
Sacramento.
Yeah, when Sacramento beat the Warriors.
Y'all have Mariah on the show?
Oh man, I had Greg. I was lighting Naj up. Then the third voice message was actually just me on a voice message getting back.
I think we do need more women on the show.
Yeah, we do. Educate. I mean, Mariah's a big shout out to Mariah. She's a huge King fan. She actually really does listen to the show. But thank you, Jared. I definitely do think the Knicks are in a good spot. And I mean, my thing is, if you win game one and knowing that I just need to win one of the next two of the next, 5, and you could be, so stuff like that, doing the numbers in your head just to keep yourself confident. They're in a good spot. I don't think anyone has them favorites still, but good spot. I don't know how they're going to do it minutes-wise, man. That's the only thing bugging me. Mikal Bridges playing 51 minutes.
Yo, 51 out of 53 minutes.
I find it hard to believe Tibbs is really that good of a coach. Because while he's done it for years, and you can say, oh, he doesn't have the bench isn't good, but you also have to cultivate a bench, instill confidence, put people in positions. He hasn't done that on several teams.
And it's not like you need to go 10 deep, right? Like most people shorten their benches and shorten their rotations in the playoffs, but like he goes from like having a short rotation in the regular season to no rotation in the playoffs. And it's like clearly he's a good coach because everywhere he's gone, the teams have been good. He's just not a good like game manager.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You can find some spot minutes like throughout the game. Like
so Bridges 51 minutes, OG 46, Hart 45, Brunson 44, which that's not. I mean, a lot of the Celtics players play heavy minutes too, but Towns only played 31 minutes, which I found interesting. Robinson played 21.
Foul trouble.
That's
if
true.
Not, he would have been right there with them.
Yeah, maybe that's the way you get. That's how you probably stay fresh. I would foul out. I mean, I would start pushing fouls around the late second quarter, so Tibbs would take me out. I just hacked Tatum one time. Be like, well, guess put me on the bench for a couple minutes because you ain't gonna get no other break. It is what it is. No Porzingis did help too tonight. That was a big deal.
Yeah,
big deal.
I mean, I think people are used to us just like playing without him. Yes. I'm glad it's an injury. It's not an injury, and it's just an illness. Because an injury would have just been like, oh, brother, here we go again.
It's the 2-week flu, though, they said.
Did not say it's a 2-week
flu. They said he won't be healthy to mid-June.
Austin hasn't moved for 2 minutes.
I don't think that's so funny at all.
He's so annoyed with me right now.
Because, isn't the thing about the flu, like, once you have a flu, like, you're immune for a while? Didn't he just have the flu?
It wasn't the flu. It wasn't the flu.
Yeah,
if it was some like rare illness,
because it's Austin. It's the 4.5-week flu. You haven't heard? He's
4.5 weeks.
You haven't heard of the 6-week flu?
How many times is Kristaps Porzingis gonna have the 6-week flu?
Questions that need answers. Hey, are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, that's a tough loss.
Oh man.
Hey man,
Jason Tatum, you need to do something better.
No.
Hey man, down 0-1.
The 0-1 boys, they're gonna be back next week.
13 in the first. I'm like, he's here. He's arrived.
The 0-1 boys.
As I watch OKC get the job done, I hate this.
Oh my goodness. I can't. I hope the Warriors lose too, so we can all be 0-1 boys. I don't want to see 1-3 boys. That ain't gonna be fun.
The only way my night gets better is if Denver wins tonight.
Same.
And it's not happening.
I'm not gonna lie. OKC is really good. That's a really good basketball analysis. OKC is really good.
You ever see what Jalen Rose would be like?
There's supposed to be steps before you get to the chip.
Austin,
growing pains. You're way ahead of schedule, OKC. I can't stand it.
Jalen Rose used to say, Jeff, he'd be like, Man, I'm gonna tell you what, that man plays a lot of basketball. They'd be like, what? He's like, no, there's guys that go and hoop, and there's guys who play a lot of basketball.
What Shaq say? Shaq's like, listen, there's only one way. There's only a couple. There's 3 ways that you could react to this game. You can either win the next game, you could lose the next game, or you might have to tie it and go to overtime. It's just like, I like.
It's good analysis. Or the Magic Johnson. The Magic Johnson.
Can I get paid? Can I get paid to state like the obvious?
Or you go Magic Johnson. At the end of the day, the team who scores the most points is probably going to win.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just want to say one last crazy thing.
Why are we not rich?
I just want to say one last crazy thing. If we had time, I would love to in the future do a segment on Hoopers be lying. And because Gary Payton the other day said that Dale Ellis, who was a great shooter, was a better shooter than Steph Curry, and that he's the greatest shooter of all time. And I just can't take this stuff anymore. So please tell all your grandpas that when we get time, it's going to be a bad day for them. Because I'm coming from all those old narratives.
Bad day to be an old man.
Well, I don't know. I just turned 30 not too long ago, and my knees hurt already. So.
Not too long ago. Today.
I got called. Oh, I thought it was. Oh, it is.
Even then, like what?
That should tell you my age. I can't remember the time of the day.
Oh, brother.
I got called Unc the other day at the gym. Little young dude looked at me and said, "Oh, what should I do next?" I said, "Unc." I said, "You should go home."
Imagine still having to pack to get to Boston first thing in the morning tomorrow.
I have to pack. I have to leave tomorrow.
I'm not
being down 0-1 in the Garden.
I'm gonna be in the gym tomorrow.
Ooh! Shout out to the gym chat we've been going on. Everybody's been on their game lately. Everybody's been working.
I don't know. I feel like it's quieting down a little bit.
Okay, well, we're going to play this clip. We're going to send this clip right now, tomorrow to the chat and something. Jeff said y'all been calming down.
I feel like it's only like 2-3 people that are still sending.
I sent my workout in this morning.
You did your Ashton Hall sprints.
I did. I did on the soccer field too. I walked over to the soccer field, did my sprints, ran back for work.
Now that's what's up. Good for you, bro.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. 1% of body fat down a day.
There we go. Totally.
Oh my goodness, Denver is not hitting. It's happening. Penny Lane.
They cut the lead to 8.
It's happening. They're skipping steps.
Well,
all right, everybody,
you for listening to another episode of Bias Aside.
Thanks,
again,
guys.
You have Austin Thompson, the one who's been upset all night. You have Jeffrey Jacobo, the one that seems to be calm all night.
Like Mad Dog
and
Russo.
You have
what is Austin mad
Cavaliers
about?
#1 fan, JD Jones in Cleveland please give me season tickets. Let me come to the game. I'm your only fan out here. Anyway, we appreciate. Tell your grandmother, tell your mother, tell your family, tell your aunties, tell your uncles. Please repost, send voice messages in. When we post on social media, comment, get in the likes, argue, do whatever you got to do. Support the show. We support you. We thank you. And as Austin said, we will cash our check and we will see you next week.
Kyrie Irving is better than Donovan Mitchell.
All right.
Overtime.
Goodbye.
New episode.
Goodbye.
Hey.